So many people think that, okay, because you die, it means you fed or you throw or you inted or whatever. But if your job is to dragon there, only dragon, that's it. Now this comp is all about shooting through the shield. Ignore the shield. You have Diva to escort them with Matrix. You have Dash to get cleave damage. And now you see Team USA, they back off from the Bastion while the Bastion stays. Now Sinatra trusts his teammates, but they back off so that they don't give extra ult charge to the Genji. Like, they know about this strat. And it's just to get cleave damage, build blade and all that stuff. Then they have Reaper TPing in. Reaper is gonna push in through the shield. And once the burst damage, or like the initial burst damage from Genji, Winston and D.Va is gone, they come back out. They have nade, they have BAP build, they have eat, reset pull, everything. You see them, you pull them close here. But if it wasn't for the BAP build, Flick would kill the Bastion. Would the Reaper TP onto Ana or Hanzo? You need to TP onto Bastion to kill him. But you see, they just don't have enough burst damage. Well, consistent damage. All that damage went into that initial jump. So they killed Moth. If they manage to reset quickly, they can get back into the fight before Moth is back. And now they try to kill Moth here. Okay, he backs out. Fine. Team USA, they know about this. They know Moth is getting camped. So they rotate over here to the window. Catch Jinmu. Cool. And Team China, there's not much they can do. Now, they got a massive sleep here on Raucus. You got it. But it's not something you can kill with, right? I think Team USA are prepared for this strat. And that's why they run Ana plus BAP. If you think about this, think. There's no Sigma, so you don't need beat. You don't need anything like over the top for Blade either, because you have Steep Dart, you have Nade, you have Fortify, all those things. So USA hard scouted China. Not scouted. Scouted is, well, it depends on what you define scouted. Scouted as in like they check the comp and all? No. Scouted as in pre-match scouting? Yes. Or they anticipated China, like they thought, okay, what's the most likely comp for them to play? And what if they play Sigma Risa? You know, this Bastion strat here, I think it's equipped with enough tools to deal with Sigma Risa and this Bastion, Winston comp. So it's just how to say, neat all around comp. Now there are stuff that you lose against, like let's say, I don't know, it's out of the how to say topic, but there are certainly things that counters this. Here, amazing dragon by Corey. You can clearly see like how planned out all fights are by Team USA. Corey knows exactly, like, my job, it's to dragon when they engage, protect the Bastion. If I die, I die. I did my job. So many people think that, okay, because you die, it means you fed or you throw or you inted or whatever. But if your job is to dragon there, only dragon, that's it. Sinatra dying alone here, who knows what he could have done. Right, so they start capping point. Corey kills Eileen. Now this bomb here is just to... It's just to... Yeah, get the bomb since he was demeched. Now, in the moment when I watched this match, I didn't notice Gujray booping Raucus. It looked really weird with how Raucus was sitting out here. But Gujray, he comes in like a train. He's like choo-choo. And he says, surprise. Motherfucker. And boops Raucus out. Nice, pretty nice. Then Blade comes in. Doesn't hit anything with the Blade. Well, Moth boops him away. He misses the slash on Moth. Then he gets orbed into place. And there's too many slices for space. And he's dead. So he should have, well, he not should have, of course he should have gotten the kill on Moth, but missing the slash on Moth was yeah, the big issue there, because they didn't get the reset and it was just too much damage for space. 4 plus Sigma ult, pretty basic ult combo, beat to counter. And now you see are playing a different comp. Sinatra's on Reaper, Core and Tracer. Tracer is fine because you want to get that quick. Now that's a nice Sigma, Reaper ult here by Eileen. It gets eaten, doesn't do much. However, usually pushing in. Then Corey, nice bomb on the inside, avoided. And that's it. I don't think China has much options. I mean, Team USA doesn't have much options. They try to retake, which is the right choice. Like, this is the right choice. Because you can still get picks. And you want to try and buy time. Also, making sure that China doesn't get it for free. Like, they spent coalescence there. Eileen ulted it, then drew the attention of Moth and space onto him. Yes. Exactly. So it's not all in vain, you know, his ult getting eaten. Here, they know Eileen is behind. They engage the 6v5 when they know the flanker is super far back. So, the moment Eileen becomes effective, like he's effective now, that's when Team USA has already engaged. Like, the fight has already started. And now, Fade is gone. Or Wraithform, I mean. And he's getting, yeah, shields in his face. And Team USA are just quicker. They have a tighter window, so to say. You guys see this? That's how they win these fights. Now that's a nice pull. And Raucous tried to keep space up. It was just too much damage. Simply too much damage. However, that whatever amount of time they burn, that's just perfect. Super here, cosplaying Evil Toaster. Right? Ult, got nothing. Then you see Orb plus Doomfist ult. Pretty nice, but there's a beat there. Eileen kills people. And yeah, it's over. Then Team USA pushes back in. They know that Jinmu and everyone else, they have to back out, so they try to catch them. Because even though they're backing out, like sure, you could say, oh, you're welcome guys. See you soon. Or you kill them, you take the positions on choke and you secure the choke and then you can kite back. Like you take space here, you take positions. However, when they push a bit too hard, it can backfire. Like this. Super is like, oh shit, I have to back out. And then, yeah, it can easily get out of hand. Because if you now push in really quick as Team China, you can catch people off guard. And we have the ult. He was stunned right before, well, right after the Fluximan. Reaper goes out. Push in. Nice use of bongos. You see Raucous making sure that Sinatra is healed up. And I just like the, how to say, the... It's like a flip switch with Team USA. They just flip the switch to go in, flip the switch to go out. Sometimes they forget to flip the switch. But that's a different question. Different topic, I mean. It depends on who is calling. I feel like Super and Sinatra might be the ones calling a lot here. Like, in the fight. Or Corey too. Everyone is of them, you know, everyone is talking. Space, Raucous, Moth, everyone. But these pushes to the spawn are not necessary. However, when you fight close to the spawn, you make China use ults, you make China, how to say, you can win the fight, or they have to spend a lot to win the fight. By the time they reach the cart, you're halfway ready to respawning. You see Corey respawning, Super respawning, Space respawning. Compared to if you kite back, you try to survive, and then you die here maybe, they push cart, and then you respawn by the time cart is over here. You see, they are ready to fight. Like, they're ready to fight. They're not respawning. They're ready. And it all fits well, because Corey is now on Bastion. So, like, they have backup plans. They scouted Eileen too. Then Sigma ult. Pretty fine. The fight close to the spawn means you get another fight. Yeah. Not always, because if it's, how to say... If it's a fight close to the spawn and the enemies just have a speed boost ready and they are like not using much to fight back, then yeah, it also depends on where the cart is positioned. But if cart is positioned here, you obviously never push back to the spawn. But this is just really efficient play by United States. It's like they get 2-for-1 deals, or like 3-for-1 deals at Walmart. Like, they get the bang for their buck.
Score 0-2.
While China, they pay a normal price. They're not as efficient, which could be because yeah, Leave is not in. They practice with Leave or whatever. It could be because USA has practiced more. Could be the experience across the roster. Who knows the factors? But this is very similar to what Krusty has taught Shock. I know exactly, you know, I remember from when Krusty said in an interview that he wants every player to be able to squeeze out every how to say it, like as much as possible out of their plays. It's like, when he selects clutch players, he wants a player that is able to like get the most value. And now you see they get a lot of value here. They have Harsha, they have Junkback, they have Super, Sinatra, Moth. You think Shock players being able to help coach the team benefited them? Yes. I think the players, all of the players, did a lot of work on their own. Because that's how they did it in Shock, from what I know. From what I know, like, I don't know if it's behind the scenes or not, but this is also public knowledge. The players put in a lot of work on their own, like studying the game, doing their own VOD reviews, like a lot of work, instead of waiting to be spoon-fed, you know, or silver spoon-fed. So yeah, it definitely helped. Not saying that China doesn't do it, like China probably does it too. But Team USA, yeah, got more results out of it. And then China has a very standard setup here. This is basically like playing Reinhardt with Mei. I don't understand why. I think I understand why USA is playing Reinhardt with Sigma. It's a really, really, really defensive comp. And it could be that they want to play around Sinatra and Corey. Because you have... For a short moment, you have a lot of extra HP with the shield. Super is just a shield bot, like that's what he's supposed to be. And this comp could be used because you think that enemies are gonna engage a lot on your tanks. So if you go all in on the tanks, and you survive, they survive I mean, that leaves room for Sinatra and Corey to do whatever they want. But once the shield is gone, you can't do much. You have to charge in. Yeah, it's a low value pick if the Reaper and Doomfist doesn't get much. There's some extra nice things about running the Reinhardt. It's that it's very easy to get high value out of your 5 strikes because the enemies are going to be stacked, lined up, etc. You're going to get 4 or 5 targets easily. Like in goats, so you're gonna farm shatters, but you're not like Orisa. Like you can't do much when your shield is dead, or as your shield is dying. You're welcome. Welcome. So now they push up. Super's gonna get a fat shatter. I think. Like, if you play this in ranked with random people, I wouldn't suggest it, but if you play this in scrims, and it's a like specific strat that your DPS players are like on the same page with, then it can work, yeah. There we go, Eileen gets a nice Step Blossom, and you see, like, Super can't even start charging before he's dead. But that extra shield HP is pretty nice to use to work with, like, while pushing in. It adds a bit more aggressiveness to when you wanna push in, like, take space, compared to when you have Orisa. Orisa is really bad at taking space. So now, this is the famous Super clip. Super's gonna try, he doesn't get a fat shatter, but he's gonna try and get a fat shatter. Okay, so he gets pushed in. Okay, he doesn't get anything. He gets pushed back. Okay, doesn't get anything. Now he's like, boys, fat shatter coming in. No. And then deleted. You see? There's potential, but it's very limited. You don't have much impact as a Reinhardt if you run with a Sigma, because it's anti-synergy. I would say if they would run OWWC but the same DPS, they would get more value actually, because they can threaten with the pull hook. But then China, they started with Mei, so it was a different story. I think that Super would have gotten people going to the right of the statue for the shatter. Yeah, but in the moment you just have to make a decision, and he was thinking like, I'm gonna catch people with the flank, which, you know, if he had limited knowledge, like we see everything top down, right? So we have different knowledge available. But if he had limited knowledge, that could have been the right choice within his like logical frame, right? But if he had more knowledge, he would probably say, oh, that was the wrong decision. He probably said it right after. Now that's a nice combo. Keep in mind, they haven't used Fade and all, so Reform, Fortify, Sigma Selfie. Moth doesn't even need to use Beat here. The issue that, excuse me, that China is doing here, oh well, mistake, is that they are not pushing in with the Sigma ult. They need more firepower on the Sigma, otherwise he's not gonna die. So here, Raucus actually makes a mistake. He goes for the Fade a bit too early. So Raucus is about to die, but China, they're pulling back. Actually, they're getting lifted up too, which makes sense. But that's because of Orb. So that's a nice play by Super here. I need to show this. I didn't notice this actually. He counters China, so it's not actually a mistake. It's just a counterplay. See, they want to push in. But then Orb comes. This is so good by Super. This is actually so good. Since if they push in, base is dead. Everyone is dead actually. But now that bought enough time for everyone to heal up. And then Elsa is alone. Coalescence is used.
Cease your resistance.
Eileen catches Moth, but then Sinatra kills Eileen. Jinmu rocked. And slow but steady, USA takes base. Nice, and Gujo is alone there, but Super's so tunnel visioned. He's tunnel visioned because his goal is not to survive. His goal is not to kill Gujo. It's to orb for Sinatra. Pretty simple, right? So that's why he didn't care about his health there. Health is a resource. And it was a resource that they spent in order to be able to get a multi-kill. So there's Orb plus Sigmalt. Doesn't catch anyone. Well, it catches Eileen, but he's gonna fade out. Okay, there's the fade of Rayform. And this is normal positioning for tanks to take around this corner here, this one. And Gujwei, now, Gujwei should be playing closer to the corner in my opinion. He's playing pretty close to the corner, but it should be closer. Because if Accretion comes in, for example, Elsa and Gujwei gets stunned. If Punch comes in, Elsa and Gujwei are able to get punched. So now shield comes out. Well, not shield, but he fortifies in order to push out. And this is normal. You want to use this in order to contest card. Hold for the Doomfist ult. Corey avoids it, Super knows it too. And Jinmu hard focused. So this is a set plan in order to deal with Jinmu. Just full on focus onto Jinmu after ult. Because he goes for the kill. China needs to push out and help, but there's Sinatra in the way. So Sinatra is acting like a roadblock, which is really nice. And then you have Space with the off angle here. So in case China would push out, Space is shooting from here and Sinatra in them. So Jinmo is essentially under lockdown. And then Gujwei C9ing. So the C9 here is just terrible. Like Yavaz said, it's terrible. And Beat is just wasted. Beat does nothing. It's just extra ult charge. Besides good time the pulse bomb and bongos, what you do as Orisa that isn't shooting shields? The positioning. Positioning around corners, because you're basically like a blockade, you know, for the front line. And as long as you're like healthy around corners, and you can keep refreshing your shields, you can basically like permanently hold space. Like you take space, hold space. Usually you hold space, you don't take much space. And it's like pulling, bongos, fortifying to push, and contesting the objective. That's like your job as Orisa. Then a nice ult there by Corey. Worth mentioning, wait, where's Moth? That you use speed as well with Corey. Just a basic ult combo. So China are just getting less value. Very clear.